So move on to laughter then now. So how important is laughter in getting through life for you?
Sometimes it's the only thing that gets me through. Honestly, it really is. Um, yeah, I like finding. My favourite is dad jokes, stupid jokes, stupid puns. Like a lot of slapstick because it's visual. I think people falling over and I'm laughing my head off. It's brilliant. My family think I'm weird because I laugh at people slipping on the ice all day long, and they're like, "What's funny? It's really hurting now." I'm like, "Ah, my shoe came off." Yeah, yeah, definitely,
So,
definitely,
yeah.
really, really important.
Sometimes the simplest things are the funniest.
Yeah,
My family have to put up a lot with my puns. They're getting
yeah,
quite sick of them now.
yeah,
So, but I think it's when you're like you love English and writing, so you probably really
yeah,
enjoy that
yeah, I
wordplay
do, yeah.
element.
That's been one positive, I think, of my mainstream education because unfortunately the standard of education in schools for deaf people is a little bit lacking, shall we say. So yeah, being at school, mainstream school, definitely gave me a love of English and the language and the way it works, and being able to find stupid puns and wordplay, things like that. I just love it. I love it. Yeah.
And in terms of you accessing comedy, I presume that's kind of a closed off world for you, really, unless you bring your own interpreter, or have you been able to visit comedy clubs or see comedians live?
Never. Never. I've seen deaf comedians. Deaf humour to hearing people is very different. Yeah, there's a lot of things that deaf will laugh at, but hearing just like, well, just goes completely over the head. I remember a while ago I was sat in a pub with some deaf friends, and there was hearing people there as well, obviously. One man was CODA, CODA, which we abbreviate for child of a deaf adult. So he'd grown up, BSL was his first language, and obviously he's hearing, so he had like both worlds kind of thing. And his wife's hearing, and we all sat around, and one of the deaf cracked a joke, and he was laughing his head off, and his wife's like, so. And it was just really, really interesting how the effects of deaf culture on this hearing man made him appreciate deaf humour.
Mm.
I just found it really, really interesting. But as for me going to comedy clubs and things like that, I've never been. TV has been brilliant because of subtitles, and I really enjoy that. Deaf comedians, some, yeah, were alright. But I think the funniest people in my life are my family and my friends and my cats. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
You're giving me ideas now to start a comedy night that is accessible to deaf people, because it seems a real
Well,
a real
I'm
shame
here.
that
All right,
yeah,
yeah.
not able to access that. So would a deaf comedian purely sign, so their jokes would be in sign language?
Yeah, there's a couple. One that springs to mind is John Smith. Um, Facial expressions, just amazing. He's really, really good. He's, yeah, very physical, very. His words, the signs don't just come off his hands, they come off his whole body, and he just gets into it. It's brilliant. He's brilliant. Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, so interesting.
Yeah.
So can you think of any of your favourite jokes if I put you on the spot?
I have got one, but it's a long story.
That's okay.
Okay, right. So this man, right, and he's finished work. He works in a really boring job in an office, and he's driving home from work one day, and it's winter, and it's dark, and it's cold, and it's lashing, and he's absolutely fed up. And he's driving home, windscreen wipers going, you know, and country road, and his car breaks down, and he's like, oh, bollocks, what do I do now? And he just can't get his car started. I've phoned for help, so he gets to know about that, and the battery's dead. Oh, shit, what do I do? And he's looking round and he sees this big house on the hill, and there's lights on. And he thinks, oh, I'll go and knock on, maybe they can help me. So, hood up against them, runs over, bangs on the door. And this fella opens the door, and he's like, come in, what's wrong? And the man says, oh, my car's broken down, I don't know what I'm going to do, I've got no phone, battery, I'm just stranded. And the fella says, right, well, we're a brotherhood of monks, right, we'll take you in, we'll look after you, give you a bed for the night, and you can stay there. And then in the morning, we can see about getting the car sorted out. We don't have any phones, because we're monks, right? Okay, fine. So this guy goes to bed and gets a hot meal, everything like that. It's like, thank you. And in the middle of the night, he's woken by this beautiful noise. It's just the sound that makes him feel amazing. He's never heard it before, and he's just like, wow, it's just so beautiful. How do I describe it? And it makes him feel really relaxed, really happy, really content. And he's awake half the night listening to this sound, but he's not tired. It's like the sound just like rejuvenates him. So the next morning he asks this monk, what is that noise, what is it? And man says, oh yeah, we get a lot of people asking that, but I can't tell you what it is because you have to be a monk, you have to be like part of the brotherhood to have the secret. The man's like, right, okay, well, I really want to know. I'll give you money, I'll give you anything. Just tell me what it is. The monk's like, no, you've got to be in the brotherhood. Fine. So the man leaves, finishes breakfast, sorts his car out, goes on his way. But he can't stop thinking about the sound. And so for the next few weeks, he's just obsessed by this sound. I've got to hear it again, I've got to find out what it is. So he goes back. You're laughing. Do you know the story? Right. So he arrives at this monastery again, and he asks the man, please tell me what the sound is. And the monk says, I can't. You've got to be in brotherhood. Right, okay. So in the end, the man says, right, fine. How do I become part of brotherhood? And the monk says, well, there's lots of different ways, but the best way that I can recommend to you is to travel. Right, and try and count every pebble on the earth and count every blade of grass on the earth. Right, and the man's like, oh, fuck off, I'm not doing that, right? And the man says, well, that's what you've got to do. It's part of the rules, you've got to be in brotherhood. Right. So the man just forgets about it, but that sound is in his head and he can't get rid of it and can't stop thinking about it. So it's like, right, fine. He sells his house, sells his car, gives up his job, goes on travelling. A few years later, he comes back and he knocks on the door of the monastery. And the monk opens the door and he goes, oh, it's you again. And the man goes, yeah. I did what you told me to. Right? I started travelling, started counting the grass, counting the pebbles. And the monk says, so what did you realise? And the man said, I realised that the only thing that man can truly know is himself, and it's through searching the soul. Everything else is irrelevant, and that's only for God to know. And the monk goes, that's really well reasoned, that. Come in, you're part of the brotherhood. And the man says, right, finally, you can tell me what the sound is. And the monk said, I'll show you. So he takes him in the monastery, goes downstairs into the cellar, opens the door, there's a big room. Yeah. Do you want to know what the sound was?
Yeah.
I can't tell you because you're not a monk.
That's brilliant. You got your first 5 minutes of stand-up there. I need to get you on the stage.
I didn't make it up.